Hey, what's up guys, Steve here, and welcome back to another monthly recap video as we take a look at the 20 highest selling baseball cards from August of 2022. Despite the number one card that many of you may have heard of, there was actually several record-breaking sales for the month of August, and I hope everyone enjoys today's video. And we'll kick things off with a pre-war vintage card at number 20, with this 1933 Goudey Babe Ruth, card number 144. This PSA 7 received 44 bids at the REA auction that ended on August 14th and sold for $120,000. This sale falls roughly 13 grand short of the record sale for a PSA 7. The all-time record sale is still held by a PSA 9 that sold for $528,000 at a Heritage auction back in December of 2019. This Babe Ruth is a pop of 42 in a PSA 7, with 39 copies graded higher, including a pop of 4 and a PSA 9 for the 4 highest graded copies. Up next at number 19 is this 1934 Goudey Lou Gehrig, card number 37. This card that was authenticated by PSA and was given a 7 grade for the auto received 47 bids at the REA auction on August 14th and sold for $126,000. The highest comp I could find of this card being autographed was a PSA 2.5 with a 7 for the auto that sold for $218,300 back in August of 2020. Coming in at number 18 is this 1933 Goudey Babe Ruth, card number 181. This SGC 8 received 22 bids at the REA auction that ended on August 14th and also sold for $126,000. This is the new record sale of this card in an SGC slab, as the previous SGC 8 sold for $105,000 back in May of 2021. The all-time record sale of this card is still held by a PSA 9 that sold for $1.272 million at a Memory Lane auction back in July of 2021. This card is a pop of 4 in a SGC 8, with only 1 copy graded higher in a SGC 9. We get our first modern card at number 17, with this 2018 Bowman Chrome rookie autograph Shohei Ohtani. This BGS 9.5 received 13 bids at the Golden auction that ended on August 7th and sold for $144,000. This is the red refractor serial numbered out of 5, and only the second ever sale of this card I could find. The other sale was also a BGS 9.5 that was serial numbered 5 out of 5 that sold for $56,716 at an eBay auction in June of 2021. Up next at number 16 is this 1955 Topps Sandy Koufax rookie, card number 123. This SGC 9 received 12 bids at the Heritage auction that ended on August 28th and sold for $144,000. This sale is down as the last SGC 9 sold for $222K back in May of 2021. The all-time record sale of this card is still held by a PSA 9 that sold for $384,000 back in November of 2021. This rookie is a pop of 8 in a SGC 9, with only 1 copy graded higher in a 9.5. Coming in at number 15 is this 1909 T206 Ty Cobb, card number 98. This PSA 2.5 received 68 bids at the REA auction that ended on August 14th and also sold for $144,000. This is the new record sale of this card in any grade by any grading company. Matter of fact, I was only able to find one prior sale of this white borders with bat off shoulders variation, which was an SGC 2 that sold for $35,498 all the way back in November of 2010. Up next at number 14 is this 1869 Peck and Snyder Cincinnati Red Stockings. This SGC3 received 49 bids at the REA auction that ended on August 14th and sold for $186,000. This is by far the new record sell of this card in any grade by any grading company, and I would have to say this has to be the oldest sports card featured on these monthly recap videos since I started them in October of 2021. The previous record was held by an SGC 1.5 that sold for $80,662 back in August of 2010. According to the population reports, this card is a pop of 2 in a SGC 3 for the 2 highest graded copies. Coming in at number 13 is this 1951 Bowman Willie Mays, card number 305. This SGC 8.5 received 31 bids at the Mile High auction that ended on August 7th and sold for $191,007. This is undoubtedly the new record sell of this card in SGC slab, and the first to break the 6-figure mark as well. The all-time record sell of this card is still held by a PSA 8 that sold for $264,000 at an REA auction back in December of 2021. This card is a pop of 10 in an SGC 8.5, with only 1 copy graded higher in a 9. Up next at number 12 is this 1915 Crackerjack Shoeless Joe Jackson, card number 103. This PSA 8 received 15 bids at the Mile High auction that ended on August 7th and sold for $212,633. This is the new record sell of this card in a PSA slab, and only the second ever 6-figure sell in a PSA slab as well. The all-time record sell of this card is still held by an SGC 8.5 that sold for $228,000 back in March of 2022. This card is a pop of 18 in a PSA 8, with only 2 graded higher in a PSA 9. Coming in at number 11 is this 1949 Bowman Satchel Paige, card number 224. This PSA 9 received 12 bids at the Heritage auction that ended on August 28th and sold for $228,000. This is by far the new record sell of this card in any grade by any grading company, and the first 6-figure sell I could find as well. Matter of fact, the last PSA 9 sold for $33,600 back in April of 2018. This card is a pop of 10 in a PSA 9 with none graded higher. Kicking off the top 10 of today's list is this 1933 Goudey Babe Ruth, card number 144. This SGC 8 received 14 bids at the Heritage auction on August 28th and sold for $234,000. This is the second highest sell of this card in an SGC slab, while the record is still held by another SGC 8 that sold for $288,000 back in November of 2021. The all-time record sell of this card is still held by a PSA 9 that sold for $528,000 at a Heritage auction back in 2019. While this card is a pop of 10 in a SGC 8, it's worth noting according to the population report, there are 5 copies graded higher, including a pop of 2 in a SGC 9. Up next at number 9 is this 1993 SP Derek Jeter Rookie, card number 279. This PSA 10 received 13 bids at the Golden auction that ended on August 7th and sold for $276,000. It looks like this Jeter Rookie is finally coming back down to earth. The last 6 sales of a PSA 10 ranged between $370,000 and the all-time record sale of $600,000 that took place in May of 2022. Graded over 21,000 times by PSA, this Jeter Rookie is a pop of only 21 in a PSA 10. We get another modern baseball card at number 8 with this 2019 Bowman Chrome Prospects autographed Julio Rodriguez. This BGS 9.5 received 30 bids at the Golden Auction on August 7th and sold for $276,000. This is Julio's red refractor that was serial numbered out of only 5, and also the first ever sell of this card I could find. Julio was the runner-up at the 2022 Home Run Derby, and as this price indicates, he's undoubtedly going to be the greatest baseball player of all time. We're back to vintage at number 7 with this 1952 Bowman Mickey Mantle, card number 101. This SGC9 received 12 bids at the Heritage Auction on August 28th and sold for $300,000. This is by far the new record sell of this card in an SGC slab. Matter of fact, the last SGC9 sold for just over 27 grand back in January of 2016. The all-time record sell of this card is still held by a PSA 9 that sold for $540,000 at a Golden Auction back in April of 2022. An interesting note while doing research for this card, the SGC pop reports are saying that there's a pop of 4 in a SGC 9, but there is one graded higher in a SGC 10. Up next at number 6 is this 1909 T206 White Borders Ty Cobb, card number 96. This PSA 8 received 15 bids at the Heritage Auction on August 28th and sold for $312,000. This is by far the new record sell of this card in any grade by any grading company, and also the first to break the 6-figure mark as well. The previous record was held by this exact PSA 8 that sold for $87,000 back in September of 2019. This red portrait Ty Cobb has been graded 214 times by PSA, and a PSA 8 is a pop of 1 for the highest graded copy. Kicking off the top 5 of today's list is this 1951 Bowman Mickey Mantle, card number 253. This PSA 8 received 17 bids at the Heritage Auction on August 28th and sold for $438,000. This sale is right in line with what PSA 8s I've been selling for recently, but I did count 8 previous sales that sold for more in a PSA 8. The all-time record sale of this card is still held by a PSA 9 that sold for $750,000 at a Heritage Auction back in April of 2018. This card is a pop of 53 in a PSA 8, with only 10 copies graded higher, including a pop of 1 in a PSA 10 for the highest graded copy. There have been no prior sales of that pop of 1 PSA 10 that I could find. Up next at number 4 is this 1916 Sporting News Babe Ruth, card number 151. This PSA 3 received 27 bids at the Mile High Auction on August 7th and sold for $440,217. This is the new record sell of this card in a PSA 3, beating out the previous record by roughly 28 grand. The all-time record sell of this card is still held by a PSA 7 that sold for $2.4 million at a Mile High Auction back in November of 2021. This blank back is a pop of 1 in a PSA 3, with only 4 copies graded higher, including a pop of 2 in a PSA 7 for the 2 highest graded copies. Coming in at number 3 is this 1948 Leaf Babe Ruth, card number 3. This PSA 9 received 17 bids at the Heritage Auction on August 28th and sold for $540,000. Another record-breaking sale on this one, as the previous record sale of this card was held by a PSA 9 that sold for $109,200 back in May of 2016. Matter of fact, the last sale of this PSA 9 was this exact PSA certification number that sold for $84,000 back in August of 2018. Graded 1,341 times by PSA, this card has a pop of 5 and a PSA 9, with none graded higher. Up next at number 2 is this 1954 Topps Hank Aaron, card number 128. This PSA 9 received 39 bids at the PWCC Premier Auction on August 18th and sold for $720,000. Despite previous sales of this card in a PSA 10, this is the new record sale of this card in any grade by any grading company. The previous record was also held by a PSA 9 that sold for $645,000 at a Heritage auction back in February of 2021. The last PSA 10 of this card to hit the open market sold for a little over $357,000 at an SCP auction all the way back in May of 2012. This card is a pop of 25 in a PSA 9, with only 2 copies graded higher in a PSA 10. Topping off today's list for the 20 highest selling baseball cards from August of 2022 is this 1952 Topps Mickey Mantle, card number 311. This SGC 9.5 received 34 bids at the Heritage auction on August 28th and sold for $12,600,000. Wow. I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard about this sale already, but if not only is this the new record sale of this card in any grade by any grading company, it also becomes the all-time record sale of any sports card. The previous record for this 52 Mantle was held by a PSA 9 that sold for $5.2 million back in January of 2021. While this card is a pop of 3 in a PSA 10, there have not been any prior sales of a PSA 10 I could find. Thanks for joining me today, guys, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace.